Don and Julie, age 62, have $2.5 million saved up. They want to avoid putting all of their eggs in one basket. Let's talk about some strategies and how they can do that.
Welcome to Rise in Retirement,
where our goal is to empower you to make better financial decisions.
I'm Jett.
And I'm Taco.
And we are financial advisors at W.A. Smith Financial Group. Our mission, our goal is to help you achieve financial peace of mind so that you can focus more on your life, worry less about your money. And today, really good topic that we've got.
You know, the idea of putting all of your eggs in one basket becomes even more important as you approach retirement. And it's the last thing that individuals want to do is take their hard-earned dollars, put them into one single thing that if it went wrong, their whole retirement could go wrong. So we have an awesome topic today. Jarrett, you've ran into a situation that you've been kind of working through that you really wanted to bring to the table here.
Yeah, it's bugging me, actually. And, I think there's a misconception that you have sometimes about what it actually means to put all your eggs in one basket. So kind of want to workshop this with you a little bit and help people understand what we're actually talking about, where they can go.
Awesome. And if you guys enjoy topics like this, hit the like and subscribe to our page. But more importantly, become an insider. The Ascend 360 Insider is delivered to you on a weekly basis every Thursday morning with a 5 to 7 to 8 minute video on super important retirement planning tips.
Yep. Let's jump into this. We got a case here. And I've been working through this case for a while. It's Don and Julie, age 62. They got about $2.5 million saved for retirement when I first met them. And, they come in and the first thing that they tell me, in that first meeting, and this is a while back, is we really just don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket.
Yeah. And the big thing for them was they already had a relationship.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. So, real quick, situation is, for the last 10 years or so, they had money, about $1.3 million, I believe, was with another advisor, someone that they had been with for a long time, about 10 years. They liked him. They were satisfied as far as they could tell and understand. And when they came to me, it was for the 401k dollars. They had, they're still working. They're getting close to retirement at this point, and they wanted to purposely place those 401k dollars, another $1.2 million, on top of the 1.3 with somebody else. And when I ask them that, why aren't you putting it with advisor A, the one that you've been working with that you say that you like? It was, well, we can't put all of our eggs in one basket.
Yeah. And we hear this a lot. And what I think is important for you to understand is, what does that mean? Like, what does it mean to you, Jarrett?
Sure.
To put all your eggs in one basket?
Well, I think I'll answer it this way. What I think it means to you, or to someone that tells me that, is they think that by putting all of their money with a single advisor or a single firm, single group, company, that is, putting all their eggs in one basket. What I look at it as a little differently, if you had 2.5 million like Don and Julie, and you put it all in one mutual fund, or all in a CD, or all in an annuity, or something like that. That is truly, in my definition, what putting everything in one basket means.
Yeah, and you could go as far as, you could have 5 advisors, but if every one of those 5 advisors has, I'm just going to use large cap stocks, and that's the primary thing across the board, and there's this huge overlap, your eggs are in one basket.
It's all the same.
Your eggs are in one basket. You just have 5 people that are, making money off of you at the end of the day.
And so, no matter what I said, no matter what I did, they were set on this. I was not changing their mind. So, kind of fast forward in the meeting, and, what they also wanted, they had made the decision, we're going to have 2 advisors. So Jarrett, does W.A. Smith Financial, do you guys want to help us with this $1.2 million in 401k money? Well, as a fiduciary holistic financial planning group, I can't just make a recommendation, in this case for Don and Julie, by just looking at the 401k money. So like we do for everyone that walks through the doors, we do a full-blown analysis, take them through the Ascend 360 planning process. And I look at everything. I look at the 401k money as how it was invested currently. I took a look at Advisor A's portfolio, gave him some thoughts and some recommendations. And this is where it started to get dicey, because they not only want to have two advisors, but I'll take it a step forward. They also want the two advisors to work together. So they want me, or whoever they hire for that 401k money, they want me to work with the other advisor. They want us to play nice in the sandbox. They want us to collectively agree on what his allocation and strategy should be, what my allocation and strategy should be. And they thought that that was their best chance at having, I don't know, checks and balances maybe on each other. I guess that's probably initially what I felt it was going to be.
Yeah. And I want to back up real quick, though, on something you said is, you know, you wanted to still look comprehensively.
Sure.
Right? Because that's what we do.
Yeah.
98% of the people that are out there, which I can't stand, are the advisors that are out there who they see the 1.2 that they're interested in handing over, and they're good with it. And they're just going to start blah, 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 making recommendations on that 1.2, not caring what's going on with the 1.3. So a tip to you out there is don't go in and start talking to somebody on one little piece of your total allocation or your strategy, your net worth, and say, hey, what would you do with this? You're going to get bad advice because it's not comprehensive. It's not looking at things cohesively at that point. So I just wanted to get that point. Get that across.
So I refuse to do that. Right. And so they had a little bit of trouble understanding why I wanted to look at the other portfolio. I said, well, hey, how am I supposed to make sure that your strategy with us, if we're the right fit for you and you choose to work with us, is going to be cohesive with what Advisor A is doing? And so I got to see everything, because if I don't, then something like what you just described is going to happen. And I can't make a recommendation in that case.
Yeah. So what can go wrong? So we've identified what putting your eggs in one basket actually is, right? It's putting it all into single stocks or single asset classifications or whatever it may be. So having a diversified overall plan, whether it's with one person, two people, three people, that's how you don't put all your eggs in one basket. But in this situation where Don and Julie were convinced this is what we're doing, and they had the right, in their head, they had the right reasons for why they were doing it. What can go wrong with this? What have you seen go wrong with having multiple advisors? Because it can work too, but where can it go wrong?
Well, yeah, I don't want you watching this video to think that this is a no-no. I actually have a lot of client relationships where there is another advisor that's there, and I've created some pretty great relationships with some of those advisors, especially when we have a similar philosophy.
And this could even be outside of advisors. There could be other key planning team members, such as a CPA who, can work cohesively with the advisor, or the estate attorney who's working together with the advisor. So there are relationships that can obviously go together, but there still has to be somebody kind of being the liaison or the quarterback, if you will, of the situation.
I outlined it for the record. It started out great. We agreed to move forward. I got them to the point where they understood, hey, I'm going to work with your other advisor. We had a couple of calls. I liked the guy. Sounded great. He was comfortable with them bringing me into the picture. And so that was step number one. Yeah. And for the first, several months to a year, worked out pretty well. But I've since then things have changed, and I've outlined kind of 5 key things that I think are causing problems with this example. So the first one, and real quick, there's a bit of a difference in philosophy between what we think is good and should be done versus what Advisor A thinks is good. So that's the first one.
And that's a big one. I mean, I
think it's the biggest one.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's whether ours is the perfect philosophy or not. It's, hey, at some point you got to commit to what makes the most sense to your situation. And, that philosophy's got to work.
Well, because of those differences in philosophies, some of the recommendations that I've made, he hasn't agreed with, and vice versa. And they want both of us to agree on everything before they will say yes to anything. So that's an issue at this point.
Yep.
And it is causing problems for them financially. They're missing out on opportunities. They're missing out on what I think is a good strategy or what he thinks is a good strategy. The second one, there's been a disagreement on the best way to draw income from the portfolio. We both have a different opinion of how that should be done. And their withdrawal rate's really good, so it shouldn't be an issue, but it is at this point.
Well, that's just proof there's more to drawing income than, send me a withdrawal. Are we taking from IRAs first, Roth IRAs? How tax efficient do we want to be now versus deferring it later? Do we use which types of investment vehicles get used? All that good stuff, right?
Couple more. We don't know at this point who has the final say on anything or who has the full control, and that's caused lag in decision making, which can cause issues. There's a communication gap that now exists. It was a lot easier for him to get a hold of me and for I to get a hold of him. I'm talking about the advisor, not the client.
Yeah.
And then the final one is I'm struggling with what I feel is an unwarranted loyalty factor to the other advisor. And I'm not trying to, convince the client or egg them to move those other dollars to me. It's not about that for me. It's more so there are inefficiencies in the other advisor's portfolio that weren't there in the beginning that are there now. There are things that I've identified that I've tried to talk to the client. And the issue ultimately is I feel like I'm stepping on toes if I even bring some of those things up. If I say, hey, you're paying a little bit too much on this portfolio piece over here that the advisor A is running, or hey, you've got inefficiencies over there. And then they go back and talk to the other advisor about that. He feels like he's being put on a stand by me.
Yeah.
And so now there's an issue there. So not sure where this goes moving forward. I think ultimately the client's going to have to decide, do I want to stick with one of these guys or where do I go from here? And
I think the bottom line and the key is they wanted to achieve something. Don and Julie wanted to achieve diversification, not putting their eggs in one basket. And this method of the way they chose probably isn't the best because they're confused like many other people out there of what that actually means. So I don't believe in putting all your eggs in one basket as well. I know you don't. But a comprehensive plan, whether it's with one person or multiple people, will diversify you in many ways, not just diversify through asset allocations or, advisors. A proper plan will provide that allocation that works for you.
Yeah.
So
I think the key here, if you're looking for specific financial advice, if you have a situation, a problem, a question that you'd like us to cover, drop that in the comments below. We'd love to cover your topic right here on Rise in Retirement in a future video. And as Andrew said, sign up for Ascend 360 Insider.
Absolutely. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to our page where we'll come to you every Sunday with more meaningful information about retirement planning.
Yep. We'll see you next time.